You know what, guys, first of all, what a difference a couple of hours makes. That is, when we joined you earlier at 5 o'clock, this parking lot was completely underwater. We are at the Fiesta at I-10 near 610, and you can see now it is completely dry. So that report of looting came in as we were heading out to another assignment. One person stopped us, said, hey, there's people looting. Wasn't sure if that was the case. Another people stopped us. A couple of other folks said, it's happening at the Fiesta, get down there. And we showed you when we got down here what appeared to have been, we spoke to police officers who said, yeah, there was looting going on. Those officers had guns, saying that at that point they had chased the folks off and were heading down elsewhere. Want to show you exactly what it is that we saw, because this is the first time we're able to get as close as we can. We have heard from some people saying, well, perhaps they weren't looters, perhaps these were people that were getting in there to get some bare necessities. But I want to show you something right here. Walk with me. So this is the front of the Fiesta, and to give you an example of what it is that we can see with our own eyes, if you just look carefully into the windows here, they do have security out here, by the way. Security is here, and more security is on the way. We've been talking to you all night. There's a reason there's a curfew in place, is for looters to know that they are not to be out here. But take a look. It's a little difficult to see, but register 6 there, you can see a register, a cash register itself. It's a little hard to make out, but it's on the floor. That cash register is on the floor, and clearly a cash register isn't what somebody needs in a time of need. If you look off to the right here, you can see what appears to be, and I'm not certain if it's a jewelry case, but that appears to be some sort of display case in the middle there. You can see glass that's broken. Again, same thing, I'll reiterate. Not exactly sure what you're going to need out of a display case that's supposed to help you in a time of need. And if that's not convincing enough, take a couple of steps with me over here. That right there is a curio case that, from what we can tell, housed cell phones. That is a busted curio case, and just on the other side, another case, glass case. Don't know what was in there. We know it wasn't food. We know it wasn't water. But that right there is what officers told us earlier. Of course, we couldn't see it with our own eyes. That's what they told us they came up to, that they found about a group of 20 looters in here that were having their way with this place. And officers with guns drawn had to shoo them out of here. A group of 20 people. So this is where they got in. Clearly, again, you don't need stuff in a curio case. Walk with me. For folks who've ever shopped at Fiesta, oftentimes you're familiar with the fact that they have another little side business to the side of their building, and it's a liquor store. We'll walk over to that liquor store to show you what it is that we found on this side. Now, we'll reiterate, the district attorney of Harris County has said that punishment is going to be stiff if they catch looters out here. Initially, it's like 2 to 20. It's now going to be 5 to life. You don't want to be caught out here looting. It's just a no-no. At a time of need, at a time of disaster, that's not what you need to be doing out here when officers need to be responding to life-threatening situations. So over here, the officer had also told me when they had pulled up to find these looters, they saw people walking out with liquor bottles. Handfuls of liquor bottles, wading through that water, mind you. It was about 4 or 5 feet deep. Careful, Matt, there's glass all over here. But this right here is a busted out window of the liquor store here at Fiesta. So folks, bust out the window, get in there, and you know as well as I do, there's not much inside of a liquor store other than liquor. So you got a busted out window there that people made their way through, and that's what the officers told us. They saw people in there taking off with liquor. And then one last thing we'll leave you with. You make your way over here. It hurts you. It hurts you to see it, but take a look right there on the floor. That is a cash register, similar to the other side there. There's a cash register sitting on the floor that clearly has been pulled off of that countertop, dropped on the floor. Don't know if they were looking for cash, but then if you look back on the register on the countertop, you see another register that's shifted out of the place. Well, I can tell you from the other vantage point, it's kind of difficult to see, but it's been pried open. Not as tall, but you can see this one right here. It's been shifted over because people were sitting in there trying to get into that cash register. So, this is the first time we were able to see it, get up close to it, but again, for folks who say, well, maybe these people aren't looters and they're in there trying to get stuff that they need, bare necessities, those are 4 or 5 cash registers that we count, and this is just one business. Unfortunately, those officers here, let's go ahead and walk out this way. Unfortunately, those officers told us that this wasn't the only business that was hit here. They heard that a Burlington coat factory down the way was also hit. The officer told us that there was a shoe store that was just hit down the way, and that business owner told them that there was roughly $10,000 to $15,000 worth of their merchandise that was now essentially gone, that not only are they going to have to make up for, but they're also dealing with the destruction and the devastation that their business has faced. So again, this is the first time we've been able to see it firsthand, but I mean, the last time I checked, there's nothing in a liquor store that's going to help you get through a flood. and it's not something that you need when other people out there are in dire straits, and certainly not in the register when you go in there and just have your way with these businesses. So we spoke with those officers earlier. We knew that they were heading down the way because they were responding to even more reports of possible looting. We weren't able to catch up with them again because they were already on their way. But, this is an example of that ugly side of devastation and chaos that you don't really want to see, but it certainly does exist. And again, that is why that curfew does exist, for folks to make sure they are not out there on the streets. Again, I will warn looters, security is now out in place. More security is coming out here. And a lot of police officers are out on the street, not just from Houston police, but from surrounding areas, from out of the state, other parts of the state. You will get caught if you think about looting out here, and those punishments are certainly going to be stiff. So, guys, with that, we'll go ahead and send things back over to you.